Hello, everyone, as you start to come into our Zoom session for Head Start. We'll just allow everyone to come in from the waiting room. Please don't hesitate to have your camera on. We've all got ours on, so we'd obviously love to see your faces as well if you're comfortable. So please feel free to have your cameras on. But we have just got you all hopefully to go on to mute as you do come through. So we'll just wait till everyone just sort of trickles through, and then we'll be able to get started very shortly. Most people coming in. So my name's Jamie. So you may very well have had email correspondence from me or possibly spoken to me. I'm sort of the main person at the uni that looks after Head Start, which is a very cool job, and I'm very excited for this trimester. It's been by far our largest application cohort. So there's probably the largest number of you guys studying than we've had in a study period so far. So chances are the course that you're studying, there's probably many of you doing it under Head Start, which is very, very exciting. Okay, a few more just starting to roll through. So we'll just give it another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll start to jump in. We'll talk a little bit about what we'll go through today. I've got a little activity, so would love you guys to jump in and participate on that on the website that we'll go to. And then we've got some fantastic staff from across the uni who'll help us get started with our studies next week. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So I'm just going to share my screen and we will get started. I am going to also record this. So for anyone that might need to head off early, or if you know anyone that wasn't able to make this, we are going to record it. So just bear with me and I'm going to record. There we go. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm just going to stop share for a moment so I can make sure that I'm recording this properly. There we go. Okay, apologies for that. Just wanted to make sure. Share. Okay, so welcome to our Head Start. Welcome for Trimester 1 2025. Can't believe that we're here already. It's very exciting. So firstly, just wanting to do an acknowledgement of country. So UniSQ acknowledges the First Nations people of Southern Queensland and their ongoing commitment and connection to country, lands and waterways. We pay our deep respect to elders past and present. I'd like to acknowledge anyone in our virtual space from our First Nations community. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, so I did mention it would be great to keep your microphones on mute just so that we can clearly hear all of our fantastic presenters and information that will help us get started on our studies next week. Please do utilise the chat for any questions throughout. We've got some staff in the background who'll be aiming to help answer those questions, or we might have some time at the end to hopefully have some questions answered live. If we need to, we can take those questions away and obviously come back to you individually or as a cohort. So we've got staff ready to answer, so please do use the chat. And like I said, we'll hopefully have some time at the end for a question and answer session. We'll also have right at the very end a dedicated session around residential schools. So for any students we've got with us who are sort of in those health courses, biomedical science courses, or even in our agriculture environmental science courses, you may very well have a residential school, which is a practical, and we want to talk about that a bit more in depth at the end. So if you're in those courses, which I'll highlight shortly, please do stick around for an extra 15 or so minutes just so we can chat specifically to what the residential schools are all about. Like I mentioned, we'll record this and I'm hoping to have it sent out on Monday so that you can revisit what we talk about, or for any of those who can't join us for the whole session. Okay, so little overview here of what we'll do this evening. So we've got different presenters from different areas at the uni that are here to support you, to get you started, get you on the front foot, and obviously throughout the course of your studies are here to support you. So we'll talk about predictors of success, our library crew, support for learning. We're going to also talk about some ICT, including AI and academic integrity that comes with that. We'll have a good demonstration of the study desk portal, which is where all of your course content is going to be housed and accessed. And we'll obviously wrap up hopefully with a few questions before that residential school session. Over on the side are those courses that I mentioned. So there are some that have that mandatory practical, which basically means you won't be able to pass your course unless you attend these. There are some other highly recommended practicals that are listed at the bottom there. So that's right at the end. If you recognize your course code, if you're unsure, we'll talk about that right at the end as well. But for you guys, please do hang around for that extra 15 minutes. Okay, so a little bit of a practical just to get us, I guess, in the mood. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for one moment and we're going to head to a website called Menti. So, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have stopped sharing my screen for a moment. Sorry. Let's go back here. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so on this slide, there's a website, www.menti.com. If you guys can key that one in and head to that website, and with that code, we'll just pop that code in the chat so you can copy and paste it. So we'll just give everyone a moment to get that information, and then I'm going to head to that website. And we've just got a couple little interactive questions to get an idea on, why you guys are wanting to do Head Start and then what you're thinking about doing afterwards. So I'll stop sharing that now, but if you have any issues, it should be in the chat. And I'll just share my screen in one moment. Okay. Here we go. So, question number one, why did you decide to study Head Start? So please feel free to pop in there. I should have had some music going on. I did try to work out how to do that earlier, but that's all right. But very keen, and we should be able to see responses as you guys start to type in. It's all anonymous, but it might be interesting to see for your peers, here in this chat, there might be some very similar themes. Oh, there we go. So to get early entry, fantastic. To get a head start, 100%, all in the name. Understanding, future degree options, wanting to extend yourself. So hopefully this is an exciting challenge ahead. If I just sort of scroll down to expose to a course of study that you're interested in before, yeah, finally taking that jump and making a decision, getting into nursing, head start, see what uni's like. Less stress during external exams, absolutely. Hopefully coming back to getting that early offer down the track. Learn something different. So lots of common themes around wanting to test the waters, experience something before, making a longer term commitment. Do maybe get into Uni SQ. We'd love that. Interested in health and interested in psychology. Fantastic. So some great answers coming through, and we love to see and really know why you guys are keen on Head Start, so we can obviously make sure that our program's hopefully matching and meeting those expectations. Cool. Okay, so moving on to our second question. What are you planning to do after school? So this can be specific or, it could be travel, it could simply be, getting into university or working full time. If you've got a particular area that you want to move into for a career, pop that in there, and we'll just sort of start to see those common themes emerge. So nursing's a big player so far. Got some travel. I think I saw livestock vaccination. I love how specific that is. Becoming a pilot. So quite a few different ones coming through, which is great. Medicine and law starting to come through. It's usually quite a popular one. Travel in there. Fantastic. Occupational therapy. So that's an exciting new area of study we've got, which is great. So awesome. Well, we'll share some of these themes if you're interested in the email with the recording. So thanks so much, everyone. I'll stop sharing that. So thanks for doing that little activity. And hopefully you can see, some maybe common themes with yourself and your motivations matching up with some others as well. Okay, so we'll move back onto our PowerPoint now, and I will hand over to Michelle, who is going to talk us through our 7 predictors of success to hopefully set you guys up for that success. Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, thank you so much, Jamie, and welcome everyone. You're now members of the UniSQ community, so it's wonderful to have you here. My name is Michelle, and I'm a student success advisor at the university. So the student success advising team are here to support you throughout your journey of study. So as you transition from university upon completion of high school, you'll receive a call from our team just to welcome you and to help support you get on board with your more formal, degree studies. So this evening, I'd just like to take 5 minutes to talk about how you can ensure your study journey in Head Start is a good one. So, and we're going to do a little discussion about a model called the 7 predictors of success. So, here we go. So the 7 predictors of success is based on research conducted in Australia on university students, just like yourselves. And it provides you with tips on how to succeed in your study that are practical tips and quite easy to implement yourself to help you succeed. So I'm wondering if you know what some of the tips are, but we won't have time for questions, so I'll just move through the slides. The first one is time on task. So when you're looking at time on task, this is meaning how long do I spend on my study each week? So generally speaking, as a ballpark, it's about 10 hours per week per course. So if you've got one Head Start course, we're expecting you to probably spend around 10 hours a week studying that one course, which may seem a lot, but it does actually, it is sort of a rough guide. You could put more study in some weeks when assessments are due and less study in other weeks. But generally, 10 hours is usually a good guide. So that could be just attending your classes on campus. It could also be going into your study desk, watching, video lectures, doing your readings, starting to write assessments. So that 10 hours includes a lot of different things. It's not just attending a class. Okay. And that way, so like if you do put in the time, you'll end up staying on track and, succeed in your study. The next tip is go to class. So that might seem pretty obvious, but attending class online or on campus is going to be helpful, keeps you connected with your fellow students. It's, you can meet with your academics and your teaching team, and you can stay up to date with your content and any assessment items. So going to class, like attending this orientation session, is a really good, success strategy. So I'm sure you'll all be successful because you're all here. Number 3, focus on your goals. So this is a really good tactic. Sometimes you don't feel motivated with your study. So a trimester and study is, a couple of months, you might fall over somewhere along it and you don't know why you're actually studying. So it's a really good idea to actually write down why you've chosen this program. What do you want to get out of it? What's it going to feel like when you actually graduate? What difference is it going to make in your life? So write down that vision and every now and again go back and read it. And that can help re-energize you and re-motivate you as to why you're studying. So use that, you know, note and put it somewhere near so you can see it when you're logging into your computer and use it as a lighthouse to stay on track and keep motivated in your study. Um, Next one, be confident. So be confident you've been accepted at the university. We believe you belong here. We want you to be here. And we want you to feel, successful and have a sense of academic success. So sometimes you have to use a little bit of self-talk to help that. I can succeed. I will succeed. And that, that positive thinking can actually bring about a positive outcome. So please stay confident. And if you do have, any issues with your confidence, please reach out and we can talk to you about that. Number 5, develop peer relationships. So as you're going through your study, you'll make friends. It might not be straight away. You might feel a little bit lonely when you're connecting, two classes with a lot older students than yourself. So it's always a good idea to have a good network of friends, and you will make friends as you progress through your study. There is like options to help with friends as well. Like we have a peer assisted learning support, which is PALS, and they're sort of like students that can help you with your study. There's also clubs and societies that you're welcome to join or even create. If you've got a really good idea for a club, please make one. Um, anyway. Some of the friendships you're going to make at university are going to be lifelong. So it's always worthwhile to develop those peer relationships and you can support each other with your successes. So getting onto your study desk is the next thing. So the study desk is the learning management system, and I'm 100% sure that Jamie's got a session lined up tonight for you to have a look and how to navigate and access your study desk. So we've got other things as well. Please try and access your email. So that you can get the important messages from the university. You might like to forward your email to your personal email account so that you can get those personal messages and you don't have to keep logging onto email. Um, Other top tip I'd suggest maybe is to bookmark your study desk so that you can find it regularly. And finally is to get some balance. So you guys are going to be doing, your high school as well as university study. So it can get a little bit stressful. So make sure you have a little bit of time for yourself. You do a little bit of self-care, maybe take a walk, maybe put up a big wall calendar and put in all the due dates of when your assessments are due so that you can plan when you can have time for a bit of a social life or when you need to do your study and you know when your assessments are due. So that's it for my presentation. I hope that, some of those handy hints will be helpful for you. And I can just ask Jamie to stop my share for me
No
because
worries,
I've
Michelle.
hidden my Zoom.
It's a bit tricky.
That's okay. And I'm going to leave, but thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. It is so wonderful to have you here. And I look forward to being able to talk to you at some stage of your learning journey. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Michelle, for that. That was great and hopefully setting us all up. I just popped in the chat there that we'll definitely talk through Study Desk. You'll have a virtual tour of that, and forwarding your email is very much on my list for us to chat through, so you can do that because I know you've probably got a few different email accounts going on, and we're adding another one into the mix. So we'll talk about that. So thanks, Michelle. So I am now going to hand over to our fantastic library staff. So we've got Tony and Liz here, who are going to talk us through that library webpage, give us some tips and tricks, and again, get us started. So thanks so much, ladies.
Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to the library. Best place on the uni, but we're a bit biased too. So, my name's Tony. I'm part of the library experience team based at Toowoomba, but we've got libraries at all three campuses. So you're more than welcome to drop in at any time to visit us. So we're just going to show you some of the ways to help you throughout your time at the uni. I'm actually a library assistant with the Toowoomba Library Experience team, and Liz is the liaison librarian for the School of Education. So every discipline has their own liaison librarian. So I'm hopefully going to share my screen and take you to the library homepage. So bear with me, please. One moment. Can you all see that?
Perfect, Tony.
Okay, so just I've got things everywhere here, so I've got to try and nope, I've just lost my sharing. Sorry, everybody.
It's still sharing,
It's
Tony.
still sharing, but I
Yep.
can't see it.
Oh, no.
I can't see it. Whoops. Just a minute. I'll stop sharing and try again. One moment. Okay, that's better. This is the library homepage. So this is where we have lots and lots of information. So one of the places I'm going to take you to first is connecting with us. So I'm one of the members that are available on the help desk, either on the end of a live chat, phone, or live Zoom. So from next week, the chat, Zoom, and phone will be available between 9 and 5, Monday to Friday. So you can visit us on campus, and we'll be open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's all the hours there and the map. For the hours, please consult with the library homepage. Do not go to Google to look up library hours because we've had many incidents in the past where people have turned up and the library's been closed. So go to the library homepage. So that's all there. The other really important thing here is student printing. Every person or every student enrolled in a subject for the trimester receives $50 per enrolled trimester. So up to a maximum of 150 per year. So if you do the 3 trimesters, you get $50 per trimester. So you can use it for your own printing on campus, or you can use it for the Print Express service, which is found in Toowoomba. So if you send a printing job through to Print Express, we can post it, we can send it to the Springfield Library, we can send it to the Ipswich Library, or you're quite welcome to pick it up in person from the Toowoomba Library. So we've got different parts on UPrint. It allows you to directly print. Print Express is where the printing is done for you and the documents from any campus posted, or we send it to the other campus. The thing is, if you're wanting to pick it up at Ipswich or Springfield, usually we can't do same day delivery if it's urgent. So give us a couple of days. But yeah, the service runs from 10 till 2 each weekday. So there's more printing questions there. But the staff in every library are quite happy to help you guide your way to printing. Just go back to the library. The other thing is borrowing and requesting. So if you want to borrow from the USQ Library, one of the other wonderful things beside the student printing money is for any student that doesn't live near a campus, can't access a campus, if you want to borrow a physical book, we can post one to you. And because a part of your student amenities fees, you get a free return postage bag. So it doesn't cost you a thing. And I'll go through on how to request a book from there. So that's just part of it there. So want to borrow, how many items can I borrow? It's actually 99, but I've never seen anyone with 99 books in their arms. So how long can you borrow? It's usually up to 4 weeks, but you're guaranteed a 1 week loan or 2 weeks for home delivery. It's up to 4 weeks, but if you put in a request today, if you got it borrowed a book today, then someone comes in and puts another request on it because there's no others available, you'll get a new email with a new due date. So just keep an eye on your emails. So, and all the libraries hold a copy of the print course texts, which are available as a 3-hour loan. So if you come to borrow in person, bring your UniSQ ID card. If you don't have that, we need photo ID. So yeah, but I will show you how to borrow. We've set up a user. I'm just going to type in medical, surgical, nursing as an example. Let's go. Yep, just some reason this one. We'll go this one. I clicked on the blue title, and under Get It, you've got request, loan, or scan. So you can see we have one copy available in the Toowoomba collection. So if you want to come and pick it up, you can put the request in, just go loan, pick up location, Toowoomba Library, or Ipswich, or Springfield. If you want it posted to you, we have personal delivery, home delivery. Don't worry about the not needed after date. It causes more hassles than anything, and we usually it ends up cancelling out everyone's request because they put the same date as the day they requested in. So, and then the request gets cancelled. So send request. The other option we have here is scan. Under Australian copyright law, we can supply to students 1 chapter or 10% of a book, whichever is the greater. We cannot scan a whole book. It's illegal. So you can also request a chapter or 10% of the book to be scanned to you. But that's once you've reached that 10%, 1 chapter or 10%, whatever's the greatest, we cannot scan any more from for you. So that's not our ruling. It's just Australian copyright law. So they're both under Get It. If I go back out, Liz will take you through more of the searching. So I think I've done everything I need. So if there's any questions, throw them in the chat and I'll try and answer them for you. Have fun, everyone.
Thanks, Tony. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen as well. So my name's Liz. I'm the Education Liaison Librarian. So every discipline has a liaison librarian, and I look after the School of Education. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about searching for information. Now, university is the highest type of education you can do pretty much anywhere in the world. So you need to use quality information. Don't use Google. It really won't cut it. You'll just get a lot of garbage on there. You'll have to sift through it all. The library website has your academic and professional literature that you should be using. So a lot of university subjects require you to use refereed articles and journals. So they are that. A refereed article is where a bunch of researchers have done the research, written an article, sent it off to a journal. The journal has sent it out to blind reviewers who review the thing. They don't know who's written the article. And they say, yes, it's good quality. It'll add to the wealth of research, whatever, whatever. And then it gets published. So that is what we call refereed articles. Now, I'm going to pop this search string in. This is what we call a search string. And we have different operators that we use to tell our library search engine to search certain ways, because we haven't got time to go through thousands of results. We want to really narrow it down to what we need. So I've put primary education in inverted commas. That's going to contain those two words into one concept, primary education. The AND is a Boolean operator. Now, when we have it in capital letters, it's going to tell our search engine to join those two concepts together. Math and asterisk. Asterisk is a wildcard, and it will search for anything that starts with the 4 letters MATH and end in anything else. So it will search for mathematics, mathematical, mathematician, maths. They're just a few search operators that we use. I'll show you where you can learn more about those in a minute. But let's do a little search. and we wait for the results. Now, I'm logged in like Tony was as a student, and we have quite a few results here. On the side here, we can limit our results. The most common limiters I think you will use is publication date. So let's put, say, 2019 in. So it will refine those, and our results have reduced a lot, which is quite good. The other limiter is keyword. Now, this can be really, really helpful for narrowing your search down even further. And you can add these keywords to your search terms. So when you start searching, you need to get your search terms from your assessment task. And you may need to find different synonyms and other words that mean the same thing, because that's what your authors may be using. All right, let's have a look at this article. Now, this is peer reviewed. This article is peer reviewed and it's open access. So let's have a look at here. Open access just means it's openly available on the internet. So you could actually have a look at this at school if you weren't part of Uni SQ community. Let's have a look at another one. So this is peer reviewed. It's not open access, so you can only access it by being part of our community because it's behind that paywall. It's in these journals. You can read the summary, have a read of the summary. If it's not useful, go back to your search results. And it has the authors, a few other things there as well. To access this, you just click on one of the titles there. You need to be logged into UConnect. UConnect logs me out at a certain time of day. And here we have our article here. Now, each type of supplier or provider has a different user interface. So it's just a matter of getting used to it. PDF just means you can download the PDF and have a look at that. You can print it or read it on your machine, however you like. If we go back, let's have a look at ebooks because we prefer to purchase things through ebook. So this is a book, tells you what type of item it is. This is a book and it's available online. I tell people to click on the blue hyperlinked title first because then you can get an idea of what it's about, if it's useful. Okay, and it's through ProQuest. Have a look at the contents, have a look at the summary. If it's useful to you, then you can click on it, have a read through. We have our chapters down there. Now you're limited by, we are all limited by copyright. So you can download a chapter or 10% of the book. And it will tell you up here how much you're allowed to download. I would just read it online just to make it easier. So going back to our search results, you can save your searches. So if I clicked here to save search, I don't turn notifications on because I forget to turn them off. And or we could save just our one article. So I really like this article. If I go over to my favorites, we have a look at our saved records. This is the record we've just saved, and we can add a label. So if you're doing more than one course or more than one assignment, you can say which assignment you're using it for. The saved searches are here, and if you've filtered by different keywords, it will have those saved there as well. So that's really, really helpful. Now I'm just going to take those out. So to take them out, you just click on the pin again, remove it, and to go back to your search, you just go over there. So that's a little bit of information about searching our library catalogue. Now, to learn how to use that effectively, come down here and you can go to study support. Now, I'm going to open this in a new tab. My favourite thing here is the Study and Research Toolkit. There are some other self-paced tutorials on that screen as well, but we've got finding information. So that will help you look at different, how to do a library search. I'll have to sign in. You have to sign into your Connect to do that, but that's all fine. So study support, Study and Research Toolkit, that's where you'll find your different self-paced tutorials. They are multidisciplinary, so they will be for everyone. Also in those tabs, you'll have referencing. Now, don't panic about referencing. Referencing is where you have to say where you've got your information from. It's very particular about formatting. We have 3 styles here. We have APA 7, we have Harvard AGPS, and we have the Australian Guide to Legal Citation for our law students. So education people use APA 7, and we have our referencing guides here. Now, I help people with their referencing. We can't do it for you because that means it's our work and not yours. It must be your work. But I never help anyone without using this guide. So if someone needs help with how to reference a journal article, I go here and I use this guide with our students. Okay. We have some other helpful information about referencing, getting started with APA referencing. That's a self-paced tutorial, and it's probably, yep, it's not going to let me in again, but that's okay. Have a look there when you get a chance. Always check with your lecturer what referencing style you're using. And I'm almost finished. Jamie, sorry, I've got a little bit over time. Study support. Let's go back to study support. We have subject support. So we have all of these guides for each discipline. I'm just going to show you educations because that's mine. So I have information for my education students about finding information. This will take you through creating that search strategy. I love this sort of work. So have a look at that when you get a chance. Other students can use this as well. It's not just for education students. Referencing, that's helpful for education students, referencing a CARA, things like that, and key resources for education students. Going back to our study support page, you can make an appointment time to meet with a liaison librarian. So if we go down to online study support and consultations, click on that, click down here, go to appointments. Now, we always say, make sure you select the right librarian, but if you forget, don't worry, because we just share. We tell each other, oh, a nursing student's booked in with me. Are you free, Joe? Yeah, sure. And so we all work it out. That's no problem at all. So if you have any questions, email the library, phone the library, email me at Education Librarian if you like. You can get in contact with us any way you like. And we are here to help. Some people have said in the past that they haven't asked for help because they felt like they were being a nuisance. Please don't think that. Our job is to help you, but you need to come to us and ask for help. I'm not going to ring you up and say, hey, how are you going with that research for your assignment? Like your teacher librarian might. I've worked as a TL. I used to do that with my students. We can't do that at uni. You need to come to us. You're not being a nuisance. Helping is what we're here for and what we get paid for. So thanks, Jamie. Thanks,
Thanks
everyone.
so much, Liz and Tony. And that's a perfect message for us to keep moving on is exactly that. Please ask for help. The whole sort of, I guess, point of this session is to showcase to you who we are. We're not scary people, but we're here to help. We just need you to ask for that help. And it is going to be a bit different to high school in that sense where you probably see your key teachers and key contacts on a daily basis. So that's going to be something, for you to, I guess, take some ownership of and ask for that support, if and when you feel you need it, and hopefully sooner and not later. So
Yeah,
I'm
Jamie,
going to,
can I just answer a question that's in the chat
Thank you.
about EndNote? EndNote is a referencing software that our higher research students and our PhD students use. We have it there for our postgraduate students. We don't offer support for undergraduate students because it's a very complex piece of software. What we want you to do is to learn how to reference properly. And the best way to do that is with a guide. If you're not sure about referencing, make an appointment with your liaison librarian. If you can't make an appointment during times that suit you, email us and we'll work something out. Okay, there are lots of tutorials about referencing on the library webpage, but please don't use EndNote because it causes more hassles than what it's worth when you don't know what you're doing, sort of thing, with referencing. It gets into the back of Word, and it can be a little bit of a strange one. So use the guides to create your references. You shouldn't have any need to use EndNote. You won't be doing that much referencing. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks so much, Liz. Thank you. And we're going to move into our support for learning section. So I've got Charlene with me, who's going to talk. She's one of our learning advisors. So is going to talk about her space and where they can support. And then we'll have Garth come in afterwards as well. Thanks, Charlene.
Hi, Jamie. How are you today? Thanks for letting me come and talk to everyone. My name's Charlene. I'm the learning advisor, or one of the learning advisors at the university. We have about eight of us all up. I'm just going to share my screen with you. This will probably be the easiest way for me to explain what we do. But of course, I forget to press share button every time. So can you see the learning advisors page?
Yeah, looks like it's just in the
It's
slides,
just a PowerPoint
Charlene.
slide. Yeah. So let me just make that bigger so everybody can use the QR code if they want. So we have three areas for learning advisors. So we have discipline learning advisors, we have math learning advisors, and we have First Nations learning advisors. So I'm a First Nations learning advisor, and part of my job at the university is to support students who are studying courses using or looking at a First Nations perspective. So there are a couple of courses that you could have selected as your Head Start, looking at the philosophy of First Nations Australia, I think one of the courses is. If you do that, definitely reach out. My job is also to work with students who are and who identify as First Nations students. So it will be my role to catch up and have a chat about how you're feeling about university subjects, how you're feeling about integrating it into your regular subjects. I was just down at a high school yesterday, and I tried to explain to the students, your subject takes 10 hours, but don't forget you've got homework, and don't forget that you've got sport, and don't forget that you've got all of these other things. So I suppose part of our role as learning advisors is to break down planning, and so that you don't stress out, and come and see us before you stress out, because when you come and you stress out, it's harder to try and find solutions. But we can make plans around when is the best time to study, and when to start writing your assessment. Like if you have an assessment due in week 5, you should be all able to access the study desk now. So you should be able to go into the study schedule and the assessments tab and see what assessments you have, and you can backtrack 3 or 4 weeks, and you can literally start your assessments now, or at least download the tasks and know what it is that you're going to be doing. The discipline learning advisors, so there's education, there's health, there's engineering, there's surveying, there's medicine, there's one for pretty much every discipline, and we help with the academic writing, so writing your assessment items. There's not a lot we can do with the online quizzes, but we can prepare or help prepare you for exams. Another big one, task sheets at university are very different to the ones at high school. Your criteria sheet that's usually attached to your task sheet is also very different in university. So part of our role is to help break down those tasks and chunk it out for you, so that we can, that you and I, or you and a learning advisor, can work through each of the different parts of the assessment. So, making sure that you have a topic sentence and you have an elaboration sentence, and making sure that you are referencing as you go, not the actual reference list itself. Making sure that you write your conclusion, and making sure your introductions and all of those things are there. And we also help with reading. So a part of your course, you will be required to do lectures, readings, and tutorials. And it is pretty essential that you do all of those. And the order is readings, lecture, then the tutorial. So even just learning how to read effectively, we can help with those skills as well. We can also look at note taking. There are so many things that we can help with. And then we have the maths learning advisor. Now, Anita is a math queen. She loves it. She has math degrees everywhere, and she can help with how to actually write math within your Word document. There's certain ways, and there's all of those amazing things that you can do. So that is pretty much what learning advisors do. And you can book an appointment online through basically, oh, hang on, I've got myself in a picture over here. I don't want to see that. Get over there. Disciplined learning advisors. So let's just pick, actually, we're going to scroll down. We're going to book an appointment, do it online. We are a current student. And then we just book an appointment through here. And this will be the same for Garth. He's going to be talking next. You can also book appointments with counsellors this way. You can also book appointments with disability and accessibility staff and careers staff as well. But of course, now it doesn't want to let me book it. Yeah, so I will pass that on to Jamie, and Jamie will, that link, actually, I'll put it into the chat once I've finished, and then I can, you guys can access that at any time. Oh, so that's pretty much me done. Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Charlene. Perfect. So yes, we'll definitely put that link, and obviously you can always re-listen to the lecture, the session at any stage there. And obviously, as you know, a lot of online students here with us. So you know, your readings and tutorial activities and things like that will all be there on the study desk that we'll have a look at shortly. So okay, we'll hand over to Garth to continue us on for support for learning.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Yes, so my name is Garth. I'm a student advisor for Wellbeing and Inclusion. As Charlene has mentioned, we sit within a larger team of support here at the university. Hopefully you're feeling so far that there are lots of people across the university who really want to help you and see you succeed, not only in your academic space, but also in your wellbeing and how you feel on campus as well. I want to kick off today, though, by talking a little bit about things you can do just to look after your well-being. Always mindful with Head Start students that not only are you doing academics here at university, but you've probably got other commitments in your life as well, school, sporting clubs, and all those other kind of things too. So I want to encourage you to think about these 5 ways of well-being and things you can do to look after yourself throughout your academic journey this year. So things like being active, getting up, moving your body, whether that be going for a walk, whether that be your sporting team, or wherever else that may look like. Connect with people, particularly connecting with people face to face, all right? Go out to the movies with your friends, catch up. The relationships are the cornerstones of our lives. And so I encourage you to continue to be connected with people throughout this year. I think this blue one here is one that you'll definitely tick the box on this year, is that you'll learn lots throughout your courses. And I hope you take a real sense of pride in all that you learn throughout your courses and as you grow throughout that process too. I encourage you as well to be continuing to give and looking after other people. There might be people in your courses, it might be people in your school as well. And then finally, to take notice, to slow things down every once in a while, to do those kind of mindful exercises. What are 5 new things in the room that you can see? What are some sounds that you can hear at the moment? What does the texture of your chair, couch, bed feel like? And really be able to kind of bring yourself back to the present as a way of looking after yourself. But let's talk a little bit about what to do if you need support. As I said, there are lots of different supports out there at UniSQ. And we want to go through a few of the ones that are offered today through Support for Learning. You've already heard about library as well as the learning advisors. But I'll talk about a little of the supports that we offer. So one of them is personal counselling. So we have a number of counsellors on staff at each of our campuses where you can book in for free confidential counselling. Those sessions can happen online, in person, or via telephone. All our counsellors are wonderfully trained, understand the demands of university life and balancing different competing demands as well. It can help with a range of issues. So as you can see there, things like time management, helping with procrastination, managing a psychological condition even, support around domestic violence, sexual assault, and managing stress as well. The personal counselling team really is focused on short-term work. So if you are already engaged with someone in the community, encourage you to continue to be engaged with those people as well. So. We also have student advisors here who focus just on wellbeing things, and they can provide support around budgeting and financial support, including acting things like bursaries, scholarships. They do a number of trainings throughout the year as well, mental health kind of trainings, accommodation support, a whole range of different bits and pieces from them as well. We'll real focus on practical support for you.
Jenny was going to be doing this session, everyone. So Jenny's just checking in that we're all okay.
Yes, she is. Yes, we also have an accessibility and disability support team here, which is one of the teams that I sit on. That team works with students who have either a short or long-term medical condition or disability, or are experiencing adverse circumstances to provide adjustments to your learning so that is a fair and equitable way of you accessing a study. So that might look like more time for an assignment, the ability to access extensions, extra time to complete an exam. So if you have a disability or a short-term or long-term medical condition or some other adverse circumstance, do encourage you to reach out to that team and they can talk you through the different options that are available and what support the university might be able to offer as well. Any adjustments we do make to the course have to be fair and reasonable, which means it has to be fair to the university, has to be fair to you as well as being fair to your classmates. But that's something we can address more on an individual basis when you're booking with one of those appointments. We also have our Safer Communities team, which is the other team that I sit on. Safer Community team here is really about helping people feel safe, respected and included on campus or online while engaging with their studies. So we deal with matters such as bullying, discrimination, sexual harassment or assault, domestic and family violence, physical assault, or other inappropriate behaviour or behaviour that makes you feel unsafe at university. There's a number of different ways you can connect with us, and all the support that we provide is free, confidential, and it's about connecting you with other people who might be able to help you throughout that journey as well. There's a number of different, as I said, there's a number of different ways to connect with our team. Probably the most common is the ability to share a concern. So you'll see on the website the ability to share concerns that you might have. That comes through our team, and then we'll often reach out to you as a first point of contact and talk through what your concern is and support that we can provide around that. Those concerns can be reported anonymously. Obviously, that does kind of limit our options in terms of responding, but we prefer to know about something and be able to take some kind of action if that's possible. So you can share concerns about yourself. You can also share concerns about somebody else. Yes. We also do have a chaplain and multi-faith team here at the university. Each of the campuses do have a faith space, including prayer rooms, as well as other chaplains to provide faith support and spiritual support as well. There's a lot of information there, as Charlene said before. All those appointments can be booked through Access Hub or by going online to Support for Learning and looking into that more there. Yes, but I think that's me. I'll hand back to the team. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Garth. So again, obviously you can see lots of layers of support, everything around obviously your studies and academically, but personally as well for yourself and your well-being. So thank you very much to Charlene and Garth for that part. So we are going to keep going. I know this is a lot of info, but you can certainly revisit it afterwards. I will hand over to Artie from our ICT team, who's going to just sort of talk us through, again, how they can help and give us those tips and tricks there. So thanks, Artie.
Thank you, Jamie. I think Mandy wanted to say a few words before I start, so I'll hand over to Mandy.
Oh, sorry, Mandy. I think you're on mute there. Apologies. Thanks, Mandy.
I'm the shy, quiet one. We're going to give you a couple of little things to think about throughout the presentation. So please feel free to respond in the chat. If there's any questions at all, I'm Artie's sidekick, so I'll be looking after anything that comes through in the chat. That's me. I'm done. Back to being shy.
Thank you, Mandy. All right. So, hello, everyone. My name is Aarti, and I am with the ICT services team. And I'll be sharing with you about the ICT heads resources and learning support software that is available to you. So just hoping that everyone can see my screen correctly. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So a lot of information has been passed on to you all. So I would like to first of all start off with a quick fun fact. Oops, if this works, here we are. So you all know that traces of hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, sulfur dioxide, and hydrogen cyanide are found in comets. So what do you think they would smell like? Well, if you have guessed that it is smelling like a rotten egg, you guessed it right. Anything stinky that comes out from those chemicals. So let's start off with what resources are available to you for your learning. So there are a few learning resources that I'll be discussing over throughout this presentation. I'll be sharing some sites as well with you all. So these are some of the systems that I'll be discussing with you today. So first of all, what are the learning and teaching required software that you should have? At best is Adobe Reader. It is a free download from this website here. This link will be shared with you shortly. So the Adobe Reader is important. Some of the PDF files, for example, you need to access, so that will be required. Web browsers you'll need for your teaching and learning is some of the software web browsers that we support are Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari for Mac users. So if you are a Mac user, you'll use your Safari browser. You can use any of the others as well, but Firefox, Google Chrome will also work on Mac. ICT also offers the Microsoft 365 Student Advantage. This is available for all active enrolled students. So if you have not enrolled yet, you will probably you will only be able to access the 365 Student Advantage once you are active enrolled. And this will include all your Microsoft 365 apps for download on your personal devices as well. So as a student, you will be able to use it while you are still active enrolled with the university, actively engaged with the university, that is. Now we have Zoom as well. Zoom is a video conferencing platform used at UniSQ. So this is one of the, if your academic, if your course lecturer needs to use Zoom for meetings, they will put up the link on the study desk course page, which you will be able to access. Now, Zoom is also downloadable from the website. So I'll just show you. So this is where this link, you can see all the page. So this is where you'll be able to find all your learning and teaching required software. And it's a video conferencing software, Zoom. So you can download it from clicking on that link there. Moving on, Panopto. Panopto is a cloud-based video platform that you can use to record and share your presentations. This is generally what the academics will be using for their lecture recordings, but they'll have other applications as well that you use. However, if you are required as part of your study to use Panopto, you will log into the, you'll need to log into panopto.unisq.edu.au with your uConnect credentials or the student login credentials that you will be given or you may have received by now. So that's how you'll be able to then sign in to get Panopto. The step-by-step guide for students is available here. So this is a video recording that one of my colleagues had done in how to use Panopto. It also shares things like what it is, how to find your recordings, what you can do to make the most of it, and getting the recorder. How do you get the recorder? The Panopto is also a has it as available as a desktop app for you. Teams, you will also be required in terms of using Teams in your courses. So Microsoft Teams is an online collaboration platform that is part of the Microsoft 365 suite. So Teams may be used in some of your courses. Not all courses uses Teams, but there may be courses where you'll be enrolled in, where you will be required to use Teams, and which will allow you to collaborate with your classmates and course teaching team. Your course coordinator will advise on how to use if required. So there is some more information on Microsoft Teams. If your course coordinator is going to use it or your course examiner is going to use it, then they will have some information that they will share with you during the period. Now, just as a note, as a student, you cannot create teams. If you have used it previously, you would probably be aware. You cannot create your own teams. The course coordinator will create it for you and then invite you to join that team. So you will not have access to create the team. Umail, a few of the other of my colleagues here had discussed about Umail. So Umail is UniSQ's reliable and safe email service. Now, Umail offers 1 terabyte of storage. This includes your U Drive data as well. And it allows you to set up automatic forwarding to your personal email account. And I believe Jamie has mentioned that she will be sharing instructions shortly after this on how to do the forwarding. So thank you, Jamie. Now, it's important to check your email account regularly. And I think one of my other colleagues had mentioned this, that it's important that you check your email account regularly, at least once a week, we would suggest, because all email communication from the university is sent to that. So you'll have more information about email in here, what will be your email account, how you will be sent emails, etc. So there are a lot of questions that you can click on and answer, have a look at. Moving on. So I also mentioned a U Drive. So sorry about that. U Drive. So U Drive is powered by Google Drive and is a central area where you can store your study files. So with U Drive, your data is always available up on the web with a successful sync. So if you don't synchronize your data, you will not be able to access it from anywhere outside. It will only be available on the machine or device that you have. So no matter what happens to your device, your files will be accessible. So for instance, technology is one where you can have any issues. You may have a hardware failure on your device, but if you have saved your, say, assignment that you were working on, even if it was a draft copy, and you saved it on your U Drive, and syncing it, because it's a web-based application. So if you sync it, what it will do is it will allow you to be able to access that file on another computer, so long as you sign in with your Uconnect credentials to it. So you should be able to access that file, regardless of which machine did you use to initially create the document. So it's advisable that you use your U Drive. Now, on side note, please, always save important files in multiple locations, especially assessment pieces. ICT receives a lot of calls from students saying, oh, I've lost my assignment and it's due tonight, and etc. I can't access it. So some of those important files, we do advise and recommend that you do save it on at least 1 or 2 other places. If you've got it on Drive, also save it, say, perhaps on a locally on your machine, for example, or anywhere on a USB stick, etc., so that you have a backup copy. It's important. So information on U Drive, you'll be able to find information on U Drive by, again, navigating to the current students' ICT systems, which will be available to you. Now, student printing, our team within the library services has already mentioned to you that you have your UPrint and Print Express. So they've discussed that in depth with you. So, but UPrint is a print which is directly to the student printers. You can print directly to it. and at each campus. You can also Print Express is a printing done for you, and the documents can be collected from any campus or can be posted to you. So student computer labs. So we have over 20 general purpose Windows computer labs throughout our campuses. Now and plus a 24-hour lab, at least at each of the campuses. So if you need to access a computer lab, which is like perhaps, let's say midnight, right? You need to study, there's an exam or something, and you needed that quiet space. There are 24-hour computer labs available to you for that quiet space, and these are mostly located in the library. You also, if you are a Mac or a Linux user, we also have Macs and Linux labs. These are only available at the University of Southern Queensland, Toowoomba and Springfield campuses. So if you want to use a Mac or Linux lab, you are most welcome to go ahead and use them at these two campuses. One note that is very important that you do take off is that whenever you are using any of the computers at the computer labs, they have a security setting that reboots the computer after 20 minutes of inactivity. So if you're using a computer and while you are still logged into the computer, you leave it and say, go have your lunch or dinner, and after an hour to come back, whatever work that you had worked on will be lost, because there is a security setting that we set up where after every 20 minutes, the computer will automatically reboot. And that means that it will remove any documents that you have worked on. And even if you have tried to save it on C drive, it will still get rid of it. So it does not save your profile. So this is just to ensure that students do use if they are at the computer and they're logged in, they are using the computer and not walk away to go have coffee or lunch for longer periods of time. So you got the 20 minutes of buffer. Now, where the location of the computers are at the campuses, you will find where the labs are located if you navigate to this link here. This will also be shared with you all. So there are all these and guidelines for acceptable use. So these computer labs are made available to use for academic purposes, and you must abide by the acceptable use of ICT resources policy. That's requested of you. So if you click hover over that, navigate to that link and hover over this acceptable use of ICT resources policy, you can have a read through it as to what is required of students. Cyber safety. Now, why we are talking about cyber safety is because cyber criminals are always working on new ways to access data. So it is important that you understand how to protect yourself, your personal information, and UniSQ as well. So some of the ways that you can ensure that you are cyber safe are never reuse your password or the Uconnect password on any other sites or share with anyone else. Never ever do that. It is because if you use it on one area, then and you reuse it, your multiple logins will be affected if it has been compromised. Another tip that we do emphasize on is that you use passphrases for your password. Say, for example, one of the passphrase just came to head was Peter pours port 3 times a day. That's a passphrase. You can use that as a with a combination of uppercase, lowercase, alphanumeric numbers, and numbers as well for your passphrase. So why the reason for having passphrases is that it makes it harder for the cyber criminals to hack it. Now, students are also encouraged to make use of the U Drive for file storage. As I said, the university offers you that service. We are in ICT have set it up for you. So you are requested or encouraged to use it for your file storage. Now, also we have Sophos at home. So if you do not have any antivirus software, the university, as active enrolled students to the university, you have this free antivirus software available to you to install on your personal devices. So you can use that. Now you can also protect your devices by ensuring that you keep regularly updating it to the latest version, whether it be an OS version update or if it is an application update. So applications such as web browsers, for example, or Adobe, things like that. Or even if you are using your mobile device, keep it up to date. That will help mitigate cyber criminals from hacking into your devices. There are more information, detailed information available to you for the cybersecurity and safety site, which we have, which is in the ICT, and it discusses, it gives you more details about password, passphrases, and other ways you can be protected. Now, if you do feel that your device has been, or devices have been compromised, you can always report it. Reporting via cybersecurity incidents, we've got it. You can always email to ict.security@unisq.edu.au. You can email, phone, or text, and if whatever you receive, and you can always report an online abuse if you have been a victim of it through the eSafety Commissioner website. Oops. Do apologize. There is a lot of information. I understand there's lots of information that is being shared tonight. However, don't worry there. If you do get stuck, anything IT, there are student ICT training available to you. There's Teach Me IT, which is a central area where you as students can find free self-paced online lessons on a variety of software programs used at UniSQ. So the link to the ICT training is available here. There is also student tutorial. So if you are not one of those who want to do learning on your self-paced learning as on by yourself, you can always watch the recorded sessions on the student tutorials. These recorded sessions are created to help you understand and navigate around some of the IT programs used. So if I navigate to the ICT training link, so this is where you have your some of the courses which are available for your self-paced learning in the Teach Me IT section is the ICT Essential Study Desk, Turnitin, and Understanding Formal Examinations, which you will come across throughout one of your programs at least. Now, as I said, there's student tutorials also available to you. So student tutorials, if I click on that, you have those videos available to you, which is also telling you or helping you navigate through Study Desk, Uconnect, how to navigate through Ask UniSQ, Zoom, Turnitin, Microsoft 365, Panopto, and Wi-Fi is also available for you on how to instructions on how to connect. These are all recorded sessions. Now, before I'm almost to the end, so bear with me for a few more seconds. So there is system status. So within ICT, we do regular maintenance throughout the year. Now, this is important because, as I mentioned to you earlier, while we ask you to keep your devices safe by making sure that you regularly update or maintain your devices, we in ICT also do the same, but on systems that you use or that you will be using. So there are certain maintenance calendar. There is an ICT maintenance calendar that we have already on our website. I'll share that with you shortly. But there are fixed maintenance weekends, weekly maintenance, and emergency maintenance as well. So fixed maintenance weekends is when it is scheduled to enable major or critical upgrades to all ICT systems and services. So standard notifications are placed on the Uconnect for all. So that includes staff and students. So if there are fixed maintenance going on, you'll have a big message showing right as soon as you log into Uconnect on the Uconnect page. There are weekly maintenances as well that we run. These are scheduled to run for 30 minutes at most and has limited user impact. So you will not see, or these maintenance will be happening in the background. You will not see or feel that there is anything going on, but because it has very limited user impact. There are certain situations where we do have to do an emergency maintenance. Emergency maintenance can happen for specific critical, to address specific critical maintenance issues or system issues. And we do not know when this will happen. So as it happens, we try our best to ensure that you are notified or made aware of this. Now, our maintenance schedule, as I said, our calendar is available to you through this link here, and it has got the weekly maintenance, what days and times it is happening, on which days. Our fixed maintenance systems and services affected for the year 2025. It's for the whole year. As you can see, it's from January all the way to November, when is our last maintenance happening. And these are the dates that it will be happening. Now, some of the core systems during this fixed maintenance that will be affected are Uconnect, Study Desk, Staff Desk, Open Desk, ELO, Library Services, and Zoom. So these are the services during fixed maintenance days will be affected. Going to the system, so how will you know if we are running, first thing, running any maintenance and which is having an impact on you? You can always navigate to the system status page, which is available here. And this page will show you or tell you what systems are up or not. So the legend at the bottom, which is right at the bottom here, tells you the green tick next to any system indicates that the system is available and it's fully operational. If you see a yellow next to any of the systems listed, it means that it is available, but with degraded performance. And if it is an X, it is usually when we have an emergency maintenance. It's an unplanned outage to address critical system issues. So you will have an X there. So at the moment, most of the systems are up and running in green, except perhaps some of the staff printing issues our staff will be experiencing. I saw some, if this can scroll, here we are. Yes, staff printing is unfortunately at the time, but it's available. So we're working on it.
Thanks, Adi.
And last but not least, if you are still lost, there is lots of support available to you. There's iConnect, who will be your first point of contact. There are Ask Uni SQ FAQs. There's Teach Me IT, as I've mentioned before, student tutorials. And there is also ICT current students page. So if I just go back to sharing the ICT page, which is here. So this is the ICT current students page where you'll be able to find all the information that you require.
Thanks, Adi. And I think we've had some great links in the chat. Thanks, Mandy, as well there. And of course, we'll make sure this important information comes to you in the email next week. So fantastic. I know a lot of information there, but that was really, really helpful, obviously, especially around the security side of things as well, and what you guys can access as students of the uni. So thank you very much, Adi and Mandy. And we'll jump straight into now Chris, who's going to talk about academic integrity, AI, and that new world for us. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Jamie. Hi, everyone. My name's Chris. I'm obviously here to talk about artificial intelligence, integrity issues, etc. I'm talking on behalf of the integrity team. I'll just share, bear with me. So in terms of what integrity is, it's that expectation that we act with honesty, trust, and fairness in everything that we do at university. But more specifically, for you probably, that means that when you complete assessment tasks, you complete the task with integrity and you cite your sources in an appropriate manner, so to protect the integrity of their work and the integrity of your work, to ensure that it's very clear between you and your marker what are your ideas and what are the ideas that you've drawn together from other people. In terms of getting an understanding about academic integrity and the expectations that you're going to have at university, you will be required to complete mandatory training. So before you can submit an assignment, you'll need to complete these modules relating to integrity. So they take you through all of the issues, probably all of the questions that you have relating to integrity. What happens when there's a breach, how you can behave with integrity, how you can prioritize your work under pressure, how you can work with others with integrity. It also gives you a little bit of support around how to write academically and ensure that you're covering all of the things that you need to cover. And I saw a question in the chat a little bit earlier about EndNote, and that's just one of the tools that you can use as a student to support the way that you cite sources when you complete assessment tasks. So many of your questions will be answered in that mandatory training, and obviously you have to complete it before you can submit. So it's something that we'll have to do at some stage. Now, probably the thing that's at the forefront of all of your minds, and I know this is happening in schools at the moment too. We're experiencing a very rapid change in technology here at university as well, and it has a really big impact on academic integrity. So we know that artificial intelligence is this incredibly powerful tool for learning, and it can help you to learn by itself, and it can also help you to complete assessment tasks in a variety of different ways. So it can help produce text, it can help you to develop ideas, it can help you to synthesize information, so draw information together from multiple sources. So it's a very powerful tool. But to maintain an ethical approach in terms of integrity, you need to be really proactive about understanding what's an ethical and appropriate level of use in every single assessment task that you complete. So in every task, that it's a different context, and there'll probably be a different level of use expected from your course coordinator, your educator. So if you want to maintain your ethical practice, you need to look for something called the acceptable level of AI use, and that'll be on your task description. So where they talk about what task you need to complete for the assignment, it'll also tell you a little bit about what's the ethical and appropriate way that you can use AI in this context. Okay. The other thing that you can do to protect yourself is maintain a record of the way that you've used AI, if it's allowed in that assessment task. So keep a bit of a running record as to the prompts that you used, some of the source material that you gathered together. And while we won't expect in every case that you submit all of that information, so the how you used AI, your course coordinator will explain to you what you need to do to demonstrate your use of artificial intelligence. So it might be that they want a reflection on how AI was used in your assessment task, or how it shaped the way your ideas are presented on the page. Or they might expect that you keep a commentary, a running record of the AI prompts that you used or the process that you used in completing the assessment task. So I suppose my message to you in terms of AI is we're absolutely about the integration, but as long as it's ethical and it's linked to the assessment task that you're completing at the time. So much of acting with integrity involves you being proactive, you being involved, and you understanding very clearly what your course coordinator wants. And unless there's any questions, I think that pretty much covers it over for me.
Thanks so much, Chris. And I'm sure, as you guys go along, you may very well have questions. So please, if you do, just reach out, particularly to your course coordinator if you're unsure of those expectations. Excellent. Thanks so much, Chris, for that. So it's a big new world. So it will grow as we go along. So just reach out for any questions, everyone, throughout your studies there. So thanks so much, Chris. And I am going to bring in Barney from our iConnect team. So this will, in a way, wrap up a lot of what we've talked about and actually be able to see how this all looks in the study desk. So Barney's going to jump on and just sort of, I guess, tell us about what he does as an iConnect concierge, but then show us through our study desk system. Okay, thanks so much, Barney.
Thanks, Jamie. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, perfect. So hello, everyone. I would like to extend a warm welcome on behalf of the iConnect team to everyone in attendance, and of course, to those who will watch this later online. It's great to see so many people here this evening. Now, my name is Barney, and I am a member of the iConnect concierge team. And what we do is we deal with student inquiries. And what my job here this evening is to show you how to access your learning resources, show you how to access your assessments, view your lectures. But first of all, I do have a short presentation that I'd like to show you about the iConnect team and what we do. So I'm just going to share that one. Okay, is everyone able to see that? Okay, so um, I'm Barney and I'm from the iConnect team. So how can we help you on your education journey? Well, the first thing is what is iConnect? We're a student-run service. So everyone that works at iConnect that wears the red jumpers, we're all current students at UniSQ. We have people that are undergraduates, we have people that are doing their master's degree, and some of our team are also completing PhDs as well. And we're part of a tiered service model. So even if you come to us and you ask us a question and it's super complex and we struggle to answer it, what we can do is we can figure out the exact person who best to ask the question to, and we can connect you with that person. And no matter how many questions you have, or if you have a small question, a big question, we are able to assist you. The most important thing is to remember to ask for help, because as it was mentioned earlier, if you don't let us know that you're having issues with anything, then we really can't help you very well. So here's a quick overview of how we work. So any question that you have is a question for iConnect. So I don't know how many of you may have contacted us via email, or you may have used called the general phone number, sent an email to the general email, or possibly even used the live chat service on our website. So if you did any of those three things, chances are you have spoken to one of the iConnect concierges. So some of the common questions that we get are things like how can I connect with other students? How do I read a recommended enrollment pattern? What course do I enroll into? How can I enroll into my courses? Where can I find my classes? Where do I get textbooks? How do I complete placement documents? And also information on the events that are coming up in the future. So those are all very common questions that we receive. And we also can assist with other services like student printing, getting uniforms, clubs and societies, using the study desk, which is something that I'll be showing you how to do today. Assessment extension requests, that's a very important one. Downloading Microsoft Office 365, which we have already discussed earlier, and connecting to the Wi-Fi. So here are some of the services that the iConnect team offer. Now, the first one there is student ID cards. Now, we did see earlier on in the chat that some people were talking about how to get the ID cards. So the question well, the answer to the question is, if you are a student at UniSQ, whether that be a Head Start student or a current student, yes, you can get an ID card. And yes, you can order that online. So you can either order your ID card online or you can come in face to face and get it ordered for you. We can post the ID card. So if you live really far away and you can't come and collect in person, we can post it to anywhere in Australia. Um, Also, another thing is placement cards. So if you happen to be interested in nursing, or if you're a nursing student, you will need to attend placements by visiting hospitals. And when you do that, you do need a special placement card for that. we also assist with another process called the internationals arrivals process. And that is whenever we have a student that has come from overseas that is studying with us, we need to record their attendance with the Department of Home Affairs. So we also handle those inquiries and send that information off. Where can you find us? So if you guys are interested in knowing where you can find us, we are located in face-to-face service points at all 3 campuses. So in Toowoomba, you can find us in R Block. We are on level 1, right next to Bounce Cafe. In Ipswich, we are located in the library at level 1 in H Block. And in Springfield, you will find us in the B Block atrium. Now, myself, I come from Ipswich and Springfield, so I work across both campuses. However, I have also been to Toowoomba, and you get the same level of service no matter where you visit. Another thing is the chats. So if you want to find the chats, you have the live chat button down on the corner on your Uconnect website. You won't see that there at the moment because our chat service is closed, as it is after hours, but that will show up when we are available to chat with. And no, you're not speaking with a robot, you are speaking with a real human. Um, and phones as well. That's our general phone number there if you're interested in calling us, and that's our general support email. So that's the main university email if you have any questions to send us. When when are we available? So you can reach us on our live chat service or by calling us anytime from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. You can also visit us on campus between 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. So we look forward to helping you in your study journey. That concludes the presentation portion of this session. Now what I will do is I'm going to give you a brief tour of accessing your study desk, which is really super important because you will need to do that if you are studying. So the first thing I want to do is share my screen again. It is already sharing. Is everyone able to see the screen? Actually,
No,
no.
there we go. It's coming
There
up,
we
I
go.
think, Barney. There we
Okay,
go.
that's
Thank
perfect.
you.
So yeah, so this is your Uconnect page, and this is the page that you see when you first log in. So hold up one sec. The screen sharing banner is literally right over the top of where I need to search stuff. Okay, there we go. So yes, this is the first page you'll see when you log in as a student. Now, some of you may not have logged in before or don't have your username and password. So I'm just going to quickly show you. You can go to any web browser and just type in UniSQ and just hit search, not enrollment, that auto completed. So hold up one sec. Okay, complete search, and you'll come to our main website, which is University of Southern Queensland. And then from there, all you need to do is click on Uconnect, and that will take you to the login page, and then you can log in as a student. So this is what you'll see when you first log in. There's quite a few things on this page. So we have the announcement section for important announcements. We have the study desk, which is where you access your courses. And then we have the student center, as well as a few other resources such as student printing, which was mentioned earlier. Um, so yeah, now I'm just going to go through quickly and show you an example of how you can access one of your courses. Now, one of the most common courses that Head Start students complete is the bio course. So to access your course, you will see in the study desk section under trimester 1, if you're enrolled into the course, you will see the name of the course and you will have a little house icon. Now, when you click on that icon, that will take you to what is called the course study desk page. Now, this is a subject that most of you will be completing, Foundations in Human Anatomy and Physiology A. So when you first come to the course study desk page, this is what you will be seeing. You'll see the first tab is, of course activity. Now on this page, you will have a brief introduction from the course team. You will have an acknowledgement of country, access to the forums, the weekly Zoom catch up. Now in this section, this is where you access the lectures. So if you're an online student and you want to attend the lecture sessions, if you click on the Zoom link provided in this session, that will take you to the Zoom meeting. And then underneath here we have, so that's the link there. Underneath here we have the study tools and resources. So there's some information about textbooks there. And then if you scroll right down, you have the modules. Now this section here is where you can access the course readings for the course. So you'll see the lecture slides, lecture recordings. So that will be a recording of lectures from a previous study period or a previous year. You'll see the tutorials and revision. And when you click into these modules, that'll take you to the learning content for the course. So that covers this section. The next section is getting started. So in this section, it'll just have a welcome video. Welcome to Bio 1108. I don't have access to it because I'm not a student in the course, but if you are a student, you will have access to that. And then there's some helpful information here in the getting started section. So I definitely recommend the first thing you should do when you get access is to read through this information. The next thing that you'll see here is forums. So the forums is where you can speak with other students who are in the course. So there are different forums here. There's the general forum. So this is where if the lecturer has any really super important information, this is where they'll put that information and that'll go into the announcements forum. Also, there's generally most courses will have a forum for each assessment item. So one thing that you might come across that is very common is when you first get your assessment items, you might have a question, and instead of reaching out directly to the course lecturer to answer your question, instead the best thing to do is actually post it in the forum, or at least read the forum first, because chances are the question that you have is a question that 100 other students have, and someone's already asked that question and their answer will already be provided in the forum. So I highly, highly recommend that you check the forums. The next tab here is the assessment tab. And yes, if you are wondering, this is where you get your assessments. So you'll see here, I have the staff view of this, so it'll look slightly different for you. But you can see if you are in this course, Foundations in Human Anatomy, you will have 4 assessment items, I believe. So you will have a quiz, you will have a second quiz, a case study, a third quiz, a fourth quiz, and a practical. So in here, in this table, it shows you the due dates for those assessments. So you can see when you have to submit the assessment by. You'll also see how much that assessment is worth out of the total course marks. So another important thing to note, and you'll see it here, it says mandatory academic integrity module. So this was just discussed in the previous session. So you'll see that before you get access to any of your assessments or able to upload your assessment submissions, you have to complete the mandatory training first. Now, you can complete that training by accessing it through the link on the study desk. Also, you can go up where it says My Courses and click the drop-down menu. And then at the bottom there, you should be able to, somewhere along here, you'll see mandatory training. It could be in View All Courses. And you'll see the badges, like once you complete the training, you will get a notification letting you know that it has been completed. Okay, so that pretty much covers the assessments. You will notice also there's something here that mentions about laboratory practicals. So when you attend the laboratory sessions for the class, you have to wear the appropriate equipment, obviously. So closed-in shoes, lab coat, safety glasses, and also you will need to bring your student ID card. So if you haven't already ordered one of those, please visit our website and order that, or come and visit us on campus and we can provide you with a student ID card. So that covers the assessments tab. Another one here is teaching team. So if you are interested in the contact details for your lecturer or your course examiner, this is where you can find those details. So for example, you can see that the course coordinator for this subject is Dr. Nikita Waltz. And you can see the phone number for this staff member has been provided, as well as an email address and also the office location. So if you'd like to go and speak to them in person, you can visit their office. Generally in the Getting Started tab, you'll be able to, they might post their office hours there. So if you want to come and visit them, you're more than welcome. The next section here is course readings. So this will take you actually to the library website if you click on this. And when you click on this, it'll take you and it'll show you the textbooks for the course. So this will be the online copies of the textbooks. And if you are currently enrolled and you've paid your student amenities fees and everything's all sorted with your finances, then you should have full access to all of these resources. You'll also have the recommended readings as well. So that covers that section. Another section here is calendar. So this is just letting you know when important events are on for the course. So you'll see it shows you where the lectures and the tutorials are occurring and the days that those are occurring. And finally, we have participants. And this will show you who else, the fellow students that are also enrolled in the course. And it also shows you where they are studying. So if they're an online or on-campus student, and it gives you their email address as well if you click onto one of their profiles. So that pretty much covers everything you need to know about the study desk. Another thing that I was going to show you is how to forward your emails to your Umail address. So if I just go back into UConnect here, you will see that you have your student email account, which is up in the top corner. Now, please ignore the 350 unread emails that I haven't read. We can just disregard that. So if you want to access your student email, you can just click Open Umail, and that will take you to your Umail account. And in this account here, this is my personal student email account. So if you want to, it is often difficult as a student, and especially as a high school student, not only will you have your personal email, but you also will have likely your student, high school student email with your school. And then now you also have this uni email. So it's really hard to keep track of all of these emails and switch between accounts. So there is actually a way where you don't have to do that. And instead, you can get all of your Uni SQ emails forwarded to your student account or your personal email account. In order to do that, we also have a handy FAQ page on that one with steps, but I can show you now. It's really quick. Once you access this account, you just go to settings, and then from settings, you click see all settings, and then you go to forwarding, and here you go add forwarding address. It's really as easy as that. You just type in the email address that you would like to forward your emails to, and then you click next. And then once that happens, it will load a page here. You click proceed, and then you have to click OK. And then what that does is it actually will send an email, a link to that email that you've just nominated. And then once you have to access that email, so if it's your personal email, for example, and then you have to click verify. So it gives you like a verification code. And then once you verify that, you'll be taken back to your student email account. However, all future emails from your student email will actually go to the nominated account. So that pretty much covers the forwarding Umail. Another question that you may have is about the residential schools. So for those of you who are a bit unsure about what that means, there are three different ways that you can study at Uni SQ. Now, initially, when we started as a university 50 years ago, we weren't really geared towards on-campus attendance. We were a distance education school, so we provided education resources to students in remote regions of Australia that previously it had been very difficult for them to receive a tertiary education. So we gave them access to be able to do that. And we did that through what is now our online and external study modes. So you'll see here that the options are online. So if you're an online student, it means you can study your program or courses fully online. You will not have to attend on campus, and you can literally complete every assessment item, every lecture, every tutorial, and you can do that from the comfort of your own home or your bedroom or wherever you happen to be located. And it's also super cool if you have work commitments, so it allows you that more added flexibility. The second option is, of course, on-campus study. So if you enroll into the on-campus study mode, you get to attend one of our campuses. And you get to interact in person with our lecturers and the other students. We also have the third one is the external study mode. So if you're enrolled externally, it means that you can complete most of your course online. However, you will have this thing which is called a residential school. Now, residential school and external subjects are subjects where you have to attend campus for a very small section of that subject because the content that you are learning has a practical hands-on aspect to it that you can't learn by doing it from a computer. You have to be there in person. So if you're, for example, a nursing student or doing a nursing subject, you will be required to attend a laboratory session to learn about nursing related things. Also, chemistry students, you can't do lab chemistry stuff from home. You do have to attend, obviously, a lab to be able to learn about, mixing chemicals and all those kinds of things. So that gives you an overview of what the study options are. So now I'll just show you how to access your res school schedule. Now, the first thing that you will note, maybe you don't know if you have a residential school or not. If you don't know, the best way to check is to go to your student center. So once you've been enrolled into the course, you can access your student center and manage enrollment. So if you just click on manage enrollment, this will take you to your student center. And now I actually had a residential school myself this trimester already, so I can show you how I knew which res school I was attending. So in the View My Classes section, if you click on the relevant study period, for me it was block 1, you will see that it comes up with the name of the course that you are in, and it also says it gives you a code for which residential school or which class you are in. So for mine, you can see the code is RS01 for the subject MEC 3905. Now, if I want to know which days I had to attend campus for that, and also you can see here where it says external, that means I do have to attend an on-campus session. So if you want to know which days you have to attend on campus, you can do that by accessing what is called the residential school schedule. And to access that schedule, you can do it from under where it says study desk. You can access the handbook. And then when you click on the handbook, that takes you to our 2025 handbook page, which gives you all of the course information for every single course offered at UniSQ. And then if you scroll to the bottom, you will see a link here that says residential schools. Click on this one and that takes you to the residential school schedule. Now, to find the specific residential school that you are attending, you will need to have the code, like the course code, which I have showed you here, and you will need to find that in this schedule. So for my example here, for the School of Engineering, I can see the list of subjects and I scroll down and I can find the exact course, mechatronic practice, and you'll see that for my course here, I had to attend Toowoomba campus from the 20th of January to the 24th of January for the full 5 days. Now, of course, the subject that I showed you before was also has a residential school. So that is the bio subject, bio 1108. So what you can do is you can check in your student center and see which code you are enrolled into for that subject, and that will tell you which campus and which days you need to attend for that subject. So if you are enrolled into RSO1, for example, you will need to attend Toowoomba campus between the 7th of April and the 9th of April. That is mandatory. And also, for example, if you are enrolled into RSO4, you will attend Springfield campus between the 13th of March and the 15th of March. By the way, if you do have any questions about any of the things I've been going through, there will be a time for questions at the end. Now, now that I've showed you about the residential school schedule and how to access those, and I've also showed you which residential school you are attending, one last thing that I would really like to show you is accessing your textbooks and your study resources. Because, for example, the bio subject, which I have been using as an example, one of the things that you will need to attend the residential school and the laboratory classes for that is a lab coat. Now, if you're interested in finding out how to access those resources or purchase them, we do it through an external online shop, which is called School Locker. So to visit that shop, you can just Google School Locker, and then that will take you to the website. Now, this is an Australia-wide online store, which caters to all the universities in Australia. So if you just click on the homepage for School Locker, you can shop by university, and then you can select UniSQ down the bottom here. And then that shows you all of the things that you need to be a student at UniSQ. Of course, it depends on which course you are studying. So you can see uniforms, for example, and of course here we have a lab coat which you can purchase if that is required for your course. So yeah, that pretty much covers all of the information that you need as a commencing student. And now I'm happy to answer any questions that will be in the chat. So I'm just going to have a look through now and see if there's anything I can answer. Would anyone else like to jump in? Is there anything that I've missed? Okay, I guess not.
No, you've covered that well. Thank you, Barney.
Okay, no worries.
Appreciate you going through that. Yeah, if there's any questions, if you could please pop them in the chat. Jamie's just having some technical issues. And because of time, we're just going to jump straight through into the residential school component. So we're going to split into 2 sessions for this, so you can get the information most relevant to the course that you're doing. I'm just going to share my screen with you all. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it now.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks, Barney. Awesome. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make the breakout rooms available so we can have the students doing AGR 1101, Bio 1101, Chemistry 1110, and WLF 2101 join that particular room. And all the other students in the other courses listed there, they can stay in this main room with Dr. Edward Bliss. And for anyone whose course is not listed there, we really thank you for joining the session tonight. We will have this recording available and we'll send it out via an email, likely on Monday, and we'll include a lot of those useful links and other pieces of key information so you have access to that. So I'm just going to make these breakout rooms available for you. And if you are in those 4 courses listed on the left, if you can please assign yourself to the breakout room. Is there an option displaying allowing you to do that now? Can anyone see an option to join a breakout room? No.
Nothing's coming up on my end, sorry, Cree.
No, that's okay. What I might do is I will put a different Zoom link in the chat for all the students in those 4 courses, and we might just go straight into a new meeting because it doesn't appear to be working. So for anyone in those 4 courses, this Zoom link I'm about to upload, if you can please join that. And for everyone else, if you can please remain in this session here. Awesome. So I've just uploaded that link. Dr. Jasmine Skinner will join that other meeting with everyone else in those 4 courses on the left. Awesome. Thanks, Teddy. You're welcome to commence when you're ready.
Thanks, Brianna. Okay, welcome everyone. What I'll do, I'll just share my screen, just a couple of slides, and just a link I want to share with you. I hope you can all see that. Or if someone just gives me a nod and a yes, that'll be good. Can you see my screen there? Yep, okay, cool. All right, I'll just get rid of the chat. So basically, the first thing I just want to say is welcome and thank you and congratulations, okay, on actually choosing a course to study within our school, or that's similar to our school, or just purely at our university. I just want to give you an overview, just so you know that when you go to study these courses, particularly, you know, Bio 1108 that Barney was going through, that's a very multidisciplinary course. So you're going to see people in the medical sciences, so the biomedical sciences, the medicine pathway, med lab science, sport and exercise. You may come across physio and occupational therapy students, potentially speech pathology, paramedicine if you're doing NSC 1501, and that's pretty much the courses you will come across. So I just wanted to touch on that. The other thing I think is important is to know who you're going to see, okay, at these courses. So up in the top here, they're the course coordinators for Bio 1204. So Sarah. Lynn is for NSC 1501, and he'll teach that alongside Kate. Nikita will take Bio 1108. Uber is Bio 1103, or Introduction to Pathology Profession. And Andrea, she's our sport and exercise guru in SCS 1002 or 1003. Sorry, I've forgotten the course code. They all have residential schools, and the other people you might see is Praj in the pathology course, Eliza in the Bio 1204 course, and also myself hovering around because I am a pest. So just a couple of things. Look, I've heard Barney talk and I've heard some of the other information given. So what I might do is just skip over a few expectations. If anyone's got any burning questions around this, please let me know. But the big thing I just want you to get out of this, look, we prepare the materials for you to engage in. All of that content, that lecture content, the tutorial content, all that theory is so that you can actually, sorry, I'll get rid of my chat. That's so that you can actually apply yourself in the practical. Part of science and health in particular isn't just about learning the theory, it's about applying that theory practically, okay? And what we then need to do is ensure that you're competent at actually doing that practice, okay? So, and the other thing I just want to note is that we'll respond to you in about 48 hours, okay? Some of these courses have lots of students and we do have some other roles as well, but we try to respond within a day or two, and that's business hours, okay? So if you email us at 11:55 p.m. on a Friday night, we're probably not going to reply because we also like bed as well. So just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing related to res schools that you probably haven't gone through is that you'll actually need to complete an online safety module prior to your first lab class. Now, your course coordinator will actually make this abundantly clear where the link is and where to find it. Okay, it's nothing too difficult. It's just a click. You go through the course, which will have a video of the lab or the facility, so you can see that lab or facility and get familiar with it. So it's a bit of like an orientation for the building. And then we just tell you some basic practices that you have to be aware of, okay? So that's basically the main thing I want to touch on there. Skip the copyright. You've heard a lot of that, heard a lot of academic integrity. You've heard a lot of the resources, so I might skip over that. One thing, particularly those studying NSC 1501 and Bio 1108, you will need to download Visible Body, but there's very, very clear instructions on your course homepage around that. Okay, so that's on your course homepage, and you will use this in residential school. Now, the big thing, what you need to bring to residential school or your lab classes for everyone studying, except for the nursing students who are doing NUR 1100 and the Introduction to Sport and Exercise Science, you won't need a lab coat or safety glasses. If you're doing anything in what we call the wet lab, you'll need safety glasses, you'll need a lab coat. You'll also need to tie your hair back if you've got long hair. But what you'll need, irrespective of what residential school you go to, is a lab manual. Now, some of your coordinators might say it's okay just to have a soft copy, so you bring it on your tablet or your computer. But for some other courses, this one here is actually from Bio 1208. I'm sorry, 1204. It's a bit sad that I can look at that picture and know which course it is. But anyway, basically bring a hard copy for some of those. So Bio 1108, Bio 1204, anything that it's just a good idea to bring a hard copy full stop. And we'd like you to print in color if you can. And the page charges are covered by the USQ printing. You get a small allowance there. So I'd probably suggest that you print your lab manual, make sure you read it prior, because there may be some activities that you have to do prior to residential school that could be worth a little bit in your assessment. But again, the course coordinator will make that abundantly clear by placing this either on the chat, like the forum, or also in their welcome video and the assessment task sheets. The only other thing we ask you to do is come with a smile, come with a bit of food in your belly. Okay, we've had some people, plop off the chair because they haven't eaten, and then they get to lunch and then they're, starving, feeling a bit faint. So make sure you fuel yourself. Come with a smile, come eager to participate. This is the best part of the course for us because we get to interact with you, we get to meet with you. Okay, so please make sure that you do come along and be prepared to interact. The other thing too with these classes, so if I just touch on these, with all of these classes, whether they're the lab classes or they're just called a residential school, the assessment has that competency associated with it. So what that means is that when you do these practical activities, you will then be assessed on them. That could take place during the residential school. So what these students are doing here, where my mouse is, they're assessing blood cells, okay, on a blood film, and they're actually getting deemed competent for that, whether they can actually recognize the right condition, the right cells, and so forth. Okay. So that's important, and that happens in class for some of the courses, and other courses might actually allow you to take home the material and develop a lab report or answer quizzes or whatever it might be. So the more you actually participate in residential school in your laboratory classes, the more successful you're going to be in those assessments that are associated with it. Someone earlier asked if they're absolutely mandatory. I think I've touched on why the residential schools are actually mandatory. Okay, they're mandatory for that competency component, which is associated with all health courses and all medical science courses. But also, you need time to develop some of these skills to do things. This is from a third year course where we actually grow an ear on a scaffold. Okay, so you grow, little cells will start growing in a ear-like shape. That takes about 5 days, that particular residential school. Now, in first year, most of your residential schools will be about 2 or 3 days, okay? But still, you need time to acquire those skills so that we can see if you're developing that technical and practical competency to pass the course, or that is associated with the course. So if you do live, a little bit away, yes, you do have to come to these, okay? There's no alternative for these practicals or laboratory sessions or residential schools. The one thing I just want to point out is in the residential schools where Barney showed us earlier, we showed us a timetable with a schedule, but there's also information around your accommodation. Now, most of you will actually end up in Toowoomba if you're studying Bio 1108, NSC 1501. So if you click on that, this will take you to some information around Toowoomba, but you can see the accommodation. You click on accommodation, and then you can work through, okay, residential colleges, maybe not necessary at this stage, but you can see that we've got short stay accommodation and we give you some advice around off-campus options. Okay, so make sure that you familiarize yourself with that link and with your parents, okay, because they'll be the ones probably supporting you to get here. So very important that you do look through that. I'll just go back to our slides. I don't think I've got too much more to go through because we've gone through what you need to bring. So practical manuals, your lab gear if you're in lab gear, closed-in shoes are a must. So always wear closed-in shoes irrespective of what course you're doing. And just bring yourself, bring your, enthusiasm and that type of thing. That's really the main things to bring to residential school. But other than that, I just want to say thank you and congratulations for actually choosing to study one of these courses. You're taking a monumental step in developing your skill set and progressing towards university studies and a future career. So we look forward to seeing you flourish at UniSQ, particularly in the courses that our school has to offer, because we're here for you and we want to see you succeed. And part of that succession is having a fun and enjoyable residential school. So I'll stop sharing that, and I can see some questions popping up. If residential schools were during school hours, what is the process for that? So it depends. Do you have a class where that is clashing at the moment, Chinmay? Yes. Okay. What course is that, if you don't mind me asking? Bio 1108. Okay, have you looked through all the residential schools that are available? Because for Bio 1108, there is actually, as we saw with Barney, there's actually 5 residential schools that you can participate in. So if you can't make one of them because they clash, you would then need to look at the alternative residential school. Okay, so you'd need to take the one that you could potentially do during outside of school hours. If I live near campus, can I just come in and out for residential school? Yeah, absolutely. You can come in for residential school if you want to go home for lunch, as long as you come back for the second session in the afternoon. That's the main thing. So yeah, absolutely. As long as you actually come to a residential school for the entirety of it and participate, that's the main thing. Now, if you do have a class where they do clash, yes, timetabling is challenging, but if they genuinely do clash, there's no alternative for the practical. You need to reach out to your course coordinator. Once you reach out to the course coordinator, they might be able to confirm the dates. And if the dates aren't confirmed, then essentially what happens is that we may have to look at when the next offer is and when you can attend to complete that course. It gets a little complicated, but I try to reach out to your course coordinator in first instance at all times, essentially.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Teddy. Does anyone
And
else have any questions?
Bio 1204 is on the Toowoomba campus only. Yes. Yeah. And great residential school with Sarah and probably half of my PhD students. So they put on a good show. So yeah, great. See the dates for the course, but not the time. Oh, okay. So you can see that so with our residential schools, particularly in the medical sciences, what I can encourage our team to do is make sure they align with the Springfield Ipswich bus. So we don't want courses, some of the classes starting before 8:15. And we want them finishing by 4:15, so you can catch the bus if you say live in the Ipswich area and need to go to Toowoomba, for example. But generally, they'll be posted in the lab manual and post it onto the forum. If there's no forum poster, it's not in the lab manual, just stick it on the forum. Because if you've got that question, I guarantee the other 177 people in the class will as well. Okay. How do you find the residential school dates? So for the res school dates, what you need to do is you can look at the residential schedule that Barney showed us. But the other thing that will be on your course homepage is when the residential schools take place and when you actually go to enroll. Okay, when you enroll, you'll actually see scheduling for those residential schools. They'll always say 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, but again, that time may vary a little bit depending on buses and so forth. But yeah, and Brianna's just popped in a chat there too. But always good to confirm that residential school against your actual offering and when you go to enroll. Sometimes in the past there has been a little bit of variance. That's why I encourage you to check with that. But
Awesome.
if no
Sorry,
one's got
Teddy.
if no one's got any more questions, I'm happy to leave it there. And if you do think of questions, you don't mind me saying, Brianna, that email the Head Start email, and Brianna and Jamie can forward it on to me, and I'm happy to, shoot through the answers essentially. Okay. And Fallon, no, you're not automatically enrolled in res schools because you would have to choose one and confirm. So no, you would not automatically enrolled. You automatically enroll in the course, but what you do after that is choose your res school. So if it's Bio 1108, as we saw, there's at least 5 so far. You would choose res school 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
How do they select which res school they'd like to do? What's the process?
So the process is when they actually enroll and they go to actually select their class that they need to select their class. Once they select the class, if there's only one residential school available, you get automatically enrolled in that part. If there's multiple, that's from their student center. So when Barney was showing us that student center, you would need to physically select what room you're going to enroll in. I can't physically show you, unfortunately, because I don't have access as a student. I've only got the staff study desk, and my previous student looks very different because it's for PhD. But There is actually a video. If you were to Google enrolling or selecting a class at UniSQ, or if you can't find that USQ, that'll show you a video on how to do that process. But again, iConnect, someone like Barney, an absolute whiz in that, would be able to show you. And besides from the mandatory practical, do you have to attend the weekly ones? No. So that's a choice. So in something like Bio 1204, I'm presuming you might be studying this, Madison, or NUR 1100, whatever it might be, something like 1204, they have those fortnightly classes for students that want to come fortnightly and on-campus students. If you can't do that, the residential school is there. For most of you that are actually studying at school, I'd encourage the residential school. The reason for that too is twofold. You get a block learning, and also you get to meet other Head Start students, and you get to actually meet students that might be from different programs as well. And you can ask, what's your program like? Do you enjoy studying paramedicine? Do you enjoy studying nursing, physio, whatever it might be? Okay. If you are external, yeah, absolutely. So it depends if the lectures are live. So in the School of Health and Medical Sciences, all our lectures are recorded. If there is a live time for a lecture, yes, you can log on and or you could go on campus, but it's the tutorials that are actually on campus in most cases. But yeah, if you're free during that time, go for it. The more the merrier. Okay. But generally, Abby, with the lectures, what are you studying? Sorry, which course are you doing? 1108? Yep. So most of the lectures will be pre-recorded. It'd be the tutorials that you can just pop in and go to. Nikita would love it. She would love to see more people there. We get very excited when there's lots of bums on seats. So go along. Oh, and Abby, good choice. Everyone's studying the Bio 1108, Bio 1204. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And 1103, my area. I love that area. So yeah, pathology is great. Nice and interactive. You'll learn lots of unusual. Basically, my background on the Zoom, that's the type of things you would learn about in pathology profession. All right, I'm sure some more questions will come to the forefront, particularly after you take away all this information and you talk to your parents about all this type of thing as well. If your parents have questions about residential schools, again, if you could email Head Start and Brianna and Jamie and the team, they can forward them to me and I can try and field them. But otherwise, thank you for listening to me ramble for a little bit. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Teddy. And yeah, just to echo what Teddy said, if anyone does have questions, please feel free to email that Head Start email address. And as was mentioned earlier, please reach out with any question that you do have, or if you do require additional support, because it is a bit of a different environment than at school. I studied through Head Start when I was at school, and they certainly, it's not like in the classroom with the teachers where they're like, this assessment is due on this date, and you constantly get those reminders. It's something that you have to take initiative for, and you need to find that information and then seek the assistance you're seeking. So everyone available tonight that was available tonight is there to support you and more than willing to help with whatever it is that you need that support in. So please take advantage of that. But yeah, if there's no further questions, we might wrap up the session tonight. We will send this recording around on Monday with some links and other pieces of information. And we wish you all the best with your Head Start course this trimester. Thank you.
Best of luck. Thank you.